Hey everybody, it's Pete. So in this next video, we are going to talk about the probably most commonly asked question and kind of the bedrock of the whole election process, voter registration. So this will probably be at least two parts right now. We'll do a little bit more later on closer to the election, but today we're mainly going to focus on who can register to vote and the different ways there are to register to vote. And then next week, we'll probably talk more about ways that we try to keep our voter rolls accurate and up to date, and ways that you can help out to do that. So, but for today, with voter registration, in terms of who can register to vote, obviously, someone who is a United States citizen, who has lived in the county for at least 30 days before the election. And one of the things that's changed since I have been county clerk is, it used to be you had to be 18 to register to vote. They've changed it where you have to be 18 by the next general election. So what that means is in a midterm year or presidential year, if you're going to be 18 by the November election, so your birthday's in October, say, you can register to vote and vote in the primary election, even though you're 17, because the thinking is, if you're going to be able to vote for whoever the nominees are, you should have a say in who gets to be nominated. So they changed that. I can't remember exactly when. It's been a few years back, but you've just got to be 18 by the November election for a midterm or a presidential year. So that's something that's a little bit different than most folks were used to. It wasn't that way when I registered to vote, but it is that way now. So there's some traditional ways to register to vote, coming in person to our office, registering with us, mailing in a paper form, working with a deputy registrar, going to some of the city clerks, township clerks, those kinds of folks throughout the county, depending on if they're a deputy registrar or not. But one of the most frequently used ways of registering to vote now in Macoupin County is the online voter registration through the state. You've got to have the correct information on either your state ID or your driver's license, but if you do, you can use that form through the State Board of Elections. They'll take all that information, do a lot of the matching that we would do here in the office or with the deputy registrar, and then send the registration to us and we'll get it processed. So you can do that from the comfort of your own home. And there's a little bit later deadline each election for online registrations than there is for in-person. So that's become way more frequent here in Macoupin lately. We also have automatic voter registration in Illinois. So every time you go to the DMV, say, and you're renewing your driver's license, they're going to automatically assume that you're either wanting to register to vote or change your registration unless you opt out. Again, this is something that has helped us out considerably because a lot of folks then get their voter registration done right at that step. Instead of having to either do the paper form or come to us or forget about it until it's election day. So that's also become way more popular and a lot more folks use it. And again, it's not forcing you to register. You can opt out. It's just a way to, kind of make a one-stop shop at the DMV instead of having to go there and then come here and go through multiple different steps. We've also got electronic updates from different systems throughout the state. So a lot of the state agencies that by law are required to offer voter registration do it through an online system now that goes to the State Board of Elections. They have what's called the Illinois Voter Registration System. We have an account. All the election offices throughout the state have an account. Those registrations get put into that system and then we can upload it from there. A lot of people use that as well. And there's a lot more about IVRS that we'll talk about in the next video. But again, that just helps kind of make things more of a one-stop shop, a little less paperwork to fill out than you would normally. But it's another way to make sure your registration's getting up to date and staying current, or you're getting registered for the first time if you want to. The final thing we just wanted to mention is here in Macoupin County, we do have the voter lookup tool on Macoupin Votes, where you can put in your name and your birth date, and it'll pull up your registration we currently have in the system, so you can verify it that way. Because there may be you moved, your name changed, you're not 100% sure if it got done, you can verify it through that system. So there's a ton of different ways folks register to vote. It's not like it used to be where you had to come to the office and fill out the paper form. It's trying to be as convenient but still secure as possible. So that's kind of it for today in terms of the voter registration process. Like I said, the next video we'll do is going to be much more about changes to your voter registration, how we make sure things are being verified, different things we do to keep that list up to date. Because one of the things that, is a plus for us, based off census estimates, there is about 35,000 adults in Macoupin County. At the last election, we had 31,650 voters. So that's about 90% of the adult population here in Macoupin County is registered to vote. That number is probably pretty good. The national average, I think, is about 70. I think the statewide average is about 80. Obviously, we don't want to be above 100 because then we've got a problem. But I think that shows, since we are a little bit of an older county, not quite as many families here as there used to be. But we've got folks that are interested and wanting to be part of the process. So we've worked really hard since I've been clerk to keep that registration up to date, current. And I think the numbers show that we did. So we'll talk more about that next time.